A man was found dead in a room that shouldn't exist. No windows, no vents, no exits except one, and that door was locked from the inside. The neighbors heard a scream around 3:13 a.m. By the time police arrived, it was silent. His name was Daniel Reeves, 42, novelist, quiet, lived alone, the kind of man who forgot to check his mail for weeks but remembered what day a rare comet would pass overhead. When they broke down the door, Daniel was lying in the middle of the floor. Head injury, blunt force trauma. The angle of the wound suggested the blow came from above, but no object was found, and no one else was inside. The apartment was locked from the inside, bolt secured, chain latched, every window sealed shut, and the only key was in Daniel's coat pocket. The early theory, suicide, but no weapon, no blood trail, no struggle. Just Daniel and a page from a typewriter with one line. He knew they were coming, he just didn't know when. Detective Mira Patel took the case, 12 years in homicide, known for her ability to notice things others missed. She didn't buy the suicide story. She started by retracing Daniel's final hours. No visitors seen on camera, no deliveries, no strange calls or messages, but one thing was odd. The footage from the hallway cam at 3:11 a.m., just before the scream, went black for 17 seconds. When it resumed, the corridor was exactly the same, except the timestamp had shifted. It now read 3:01 a.m. A time glitch, or someone tampered with the footage. Mira checked with building maintenance. The camera system wasn't connected to the internet. It recorded on a local loop. To change the timestamp, you'd need to access the control box, which was in the basement, and that required a physical key. Only 4 people had keys: the superintendent, the building owner, a resident named Erica Delane, and Daniel Reeves himself. Erica, it turned out, had been out of town for 4 days. Mira confirmed her alibi through flight logs and CCTV. The building owner, Mark Hensley, hadn't visited the property in months. That left the superintendent and Daniel. But why would a man tamper with his own hallway camera just before dying? Something wasn't right. Mira returned to the scene and took a second look. Daniel's typewriter sat on the desk, one page, freshly inked with a single ominous line. She searched the rest of the manuscript, nothing. But then she noticed the ribbon in the typewriter had been rewound, a trick some writers use when they want to reuse the ribbon, but also a way to hide what was typed before. Mira had the ribbon analyzed. Under UV light, they recovered 38 lines of text, some fictional, others not. One said, "There's someone in the walls, I hear them breathe when I sleep." Another, "The dumbwaiter is sealed, but I hear it move at night." Mira found blueprints of the building, and there it was, a dumbwaiter shaft that had been sealed decades ago after a renovation. She had the wall opened. Inside, dust, cobwebs, and fingerprints. They matched no one in the system, but one print, partial, barely visible, triggered a flag in the missing persons database. Harvey Lorne, a former elevator technician, went missing in 2016. His last job, that building. At this point, Mira considered 2 possibilities. 1, Harvey had been hiding in the shaft for years, or 2, someone was using his identity as a mask. She kept digging. Daniel had filed a noise complaint just 1 month before he died. He claimed someone was moving through the walls. Maintenance dismissed it as pipes, but Mira believed he had discovered the shaft and possibly someone inside it. She interviewed the tenants. One woman, 5th floor, mentioned that her cat often stared at the wall near the old service door and hissed. Another tenant said she heard tapping sounds behind the plaster at 2 a.m. pattern tapping. 3, then 2, then 3 again. Morse code, or just pipes? Mira checked Daniel's laptop. It was wiped, but the hard drive had been recently cloned. The clone was on a USB device hidden inside the spine of a hollow book. Inside that digital clone was a folder labeled Echo. Inside Echo, dozens of photos. Each photo showed parts of the building, vents, blueprints, walls, crawl spaces, as if Daniel had been mapping secret paths. One photo stood out. It was blurry, a hand reaching through a wall panel, fingers thin, almost skeletal. Mira enhanced the image. The timestamp, 3:10 a.m., 3 minutes before his death. There was someone inside that wall, but here's where it gets stranger. 2 days later, the super, the only other person with access to the camera system, vanished. His apartment door was unlocked, no sign of struggle. But inside, a single sheet of paper on his kitchen table. You looked too closely. That same night, the hallway cam glitched again. 17 seconds, black, then flickered back to life with the timestamp off by 12 minutes. 12 minutes, just enough time to crawl through a shaft, kill, and vanish. Mira closed the case publicly as unsolved. Privately, she kept investigating. She installed her own camera across from the dumbwaiter shaft. Hidden, offline, motion activated, for weeks nothing. Then one night, 2:37 a.m. Movement, a hand reaching out from the wall. It gripped the edge and slowly retreated back inside. She froze the footage. The hand was gloved, but the glove was frayed. Through the tear, a tattoo, the number 14 in faded ink. Harvey Lorne had that tattoo. So did 3 other elevator workers who went missing during the building's renovation years ago. What if they never left? What if the walls weren't empty? Myra submitted the footage anonymously to a private server, and then she disappeared. No trace. Her phone was found in a trash can across town, but the last message on it was unsaid, just one line typed out. There's more than one.